Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Say, Ron, good to see you. Maria, we got a small problem. The time on the speaker co-working page is wrong. The It's 7 p.m. Eastern. I think it has it at 8 p.m. Eastern or something because it says it starts. Oh, it says we're live. It ends. Okay. I thought it says begins in 54 seconds or 54 minutes. So I'm wrong. My bad. I thought we had the wrong time up there, but that's not it. My bad. My bad. The page looks incredible. Good to see you, say Ron. Um, Good to see you, Maria. Maria is the head designer at SpeakerHub. I am Ron Story. I don't even know what I am nowadays, man. I be changing. I'm the head of product at SpeakerHub.
I was
My
just
job is to, huh?
I thought you was the head of membership.
Yeah, it keep changing, man. I mean,
Hey man,
as we keep growing, we keep growing and getting better,
there you go.
Yeah, we keep growing and getting better. I just cut my hand. I don't even realize where I cut it at. I've been sitting there at the table. Look on my hand, it's bleeding. I'm like, the heck just happened to my hand? It's wild. Um, but yeah, I'm the head of product, head of membership um, at Speaker Up. We do this call every day at 12 noon and at 7 p.m. Eastern time for speakers on all 7 continents to hop in and to talk about how they help people with their message, but also ask questions about how we can help them get their message out to more people. So this is where you can ask questions, get the help you need, find the truth about the speaking business. There's a lot of surprises in the speaking business. There's more than meets the eye. And at Speaker Up, we try to show you all of those different things. So, yep, I think I got a little midget about to come through my door back here. It's probably not the best word to use, but that's what I call her. Come on in. Come on. Come on. No, no, no. You want to say hi? Who's that?
No quiero.
You don't know that person?
Hola.
Hola, cariño. ¿Cómo estás?
Bien.
Oh, me encanta. Tú eres muy linda. Siempre.
Okay, diga chao, okay?
Chao.
Okay,
Chao.
bye-bye.
Me voy a dormir con ella.
Okay, bye-bye. Besos. Ahí.
Ay, tu lengua.
Más tardes, okay? Gracias. That's hey, cierra la puerta, por favor. That's the CEO of Speaker Hub right there. You know?
So cute.
Yeah, no, that's my 3-year-old. They got an 8-year-old too. But he don't want to be bothered when he gets home. You know, he gets his iPad. He's like, look, I'm done. So, but any topics or questions that you all have, or you would like to cover? One of the things we did on the other call that I think was pretty cool to understand is why did you become a speaker? So, Alicia, what made you become a speaker, or what
So,
made you want to do speaking?
so there's kind of two things. I've been in the public policy arena for a long time, and I just remember it was when I decided to go get the PhD, I felt like no one was listening to me. So I was like, oh, I'll go get a PhD and that'll make people listen to me. Turns out that doesn't make people listen to you. Having a good story or a good message actually makes people listen to you. So I took like public speaking classes and different things, but for that arena, for the academic arena. So I did a lot of conferences. I've spoken, I've taught, I've done a lot of that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But what I find is in the realm of regular world type stuff, I have to be different than who I am in that sector. And so that's where I'm a little uneasy. I'm still learning my voice there. But there are some people who've said I'm a good storyteller and I have lots of stories to tell. So I think I can be a great speaker, but I wouldn't say that I am one now.
Oh yeah, I mean it's one of those skills that it's like an asymptote. It never reaches perfection. You're always improving something. And it's like I'm working on it, I'm getting there, I'm getting there, I'm getting there. Then it just never reaches perfection because you can always learn a new technique, learn a new teaching system, things of that sort. Tamika, how are you? You doing okay? Introduce yourself. Say hi.
Hey,
Don't be shy.
what's
Don't be
going
shy.
on? Oh, no, not shy at all. What's going on, Speaker family? This is Tamika L. Herbert, the communicative liberationist, just joined the group. So just coming to see what's going on, stepping my big toe in the troubled waters, and here I am.
That's it. Well, these waters over here calm. Ain't no trouble over here. You good.
Well, for me, it's unknown, a little shaky, but it's already in me. All I have is all I need, and that's this loud, southern, gorgeous mouth. So there we go.
Hey, just keep speaking. Keep inspiring those who have ears and keep being the leader that you needed when you were at that point in your life. So what is it that you speak about? Are you new to speaking? How long have you been doing it?
Well, I've been doing it all my life. My youth pastor told me I had the gift of gab, and I just realized it's something that I've always done, but I have created my speaker one sheet. My topics that I speak on is emotional wholeness, relationships, excuse me, and then as well as having light, hope in the midst of hardships. And that based on it all started with my breast cancer journey, but going through that breast cancer journey, so much more stuff was revealed, and I became a lot freer talking about childhood molestation, intentionally involved in an incestuous relationship, affairs with married men, pride, all that good junk. But 11 years of celibacy, there's nothing in my life that I've ever done that I don't give people hope and talk to them about the death of my mom at 12, not having a father, things of that nature. So I'm really liberated from all the challenges I've experienced in life. And then they get all this personality too. You know what I'm saying, Ron? So that's a little bit about me.
No, that's cool, man. I mean, what a bright light and positive energy. It's like, dude, how can you not feel the energy she brings to the table? You know, like what kind of microphone she got? My microphone trash compared to hers because she coming through loud and clear, you know? So, but Tamika, you're welcome. You're welcome here any day of the week. I'm Ron Story. I'm the owner of SpeakerHub, and I not only own the company, but I own the responsibility. And the biggest responsibility I have is to help people to be the leaders that they needed when they were in need. And that could be you being the voice for someone who feels they have no voice, me being an example to entrepreneurs who aspire to do something. If I could just be an example that you could run your business a certain way, I think I've done my part. There's all types of ways for us to be who other people need. And we don't put any limits on that. We don't put any shame on it. The only thing we're going to let you know that we're going to do here is we're going to push you, right? And some people don't like to be pushed, but I'm most comfortable when I'm moving forward. So if that's how you feel, you're in the right place. You see, Leroy's here. It's 3 a.m. where Leroy is at. Leroy's in England, and he came in at 4 o'clock today. And I was like, dude, you like 3 hours early? He's like, man, it's midnight. I'm gonna try to make it. I'm like, dude, just come tomorrow. And he's still here anyway because Leroy is one of our regulars on our daily call. So Leroy, if you want to introduce yourself, I don't think anyone else here knows you. That's if you don't have to turn on your camera if it's too late, but if you can turn on your microphone and let everybody know who you are and tell them what you talk about, that would be cool.
No, thank you very much, Ron, and thank you, everyone. Yeah, my name is Leroy, and I help C-suite executives and other business owners as well, but not to be a niche junkie, and entrepreneurs who are struggling with disengaged and disconnected teams in the workplace and who constantly struggle with issues like low morale, high turnover, and decreased profitability. And that's me pulling on my almost 2 decades of military and law enforcement experience, plus working in several nonprofits at the executive level. So pretty much that's what I do, and that's who I help.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for letting us know. But yeah, Tamika, you're at home. Leroy, you already know you're at home. Alicia, you know, you came back. That's all we look for. We know if we get you to come back a second time, we got you. You may as well go home, pay your rent, because we got you. You stuck here now. Go on and put your plot of land down, because you already, you belong to us now. We know if we get you to come back twice, it's a high probability that we're going to be able to help you a lot more than what you've ever expected. So at SpeakerHub, we do this call every day. It's called Speaker Co-working. We do it at 12 noon, and we also do it at 7 p.m. And the goal is just to answer your questions, to celebrate your wins. If you've been invited on the stage, or you have plans to get on the stage in the next few months, we want to know about it so that we can support you. If you have a new book coming out, tell us about it. We'll go out and buy it. We'll tell you how to market it, how to sell more of it. That's what we do. If you're trying to figure out, how do I arrange and get this message in order, somebody on here can help you probably get that message codified and frameworked so that more people can be affected by it. So, yeah, we don't believe in a lot of confusion. We think that this industry has enough confusion already, and we try to clear some of that air so that you can be effective. So, yeah, that's what we do. So any questions before I get to ranting about random crap that I like to talk about? I give y'all first shot to kind of direct the conversation. So any questions about the speaking business, about you getting on stage, about any business at all?
No question, Ron, but a quick update from me.
Oh, go ahead. Yep.
So I had a slight lull, and after continuing with the follow-ups, I have had a flood of feedback coming in, and they're all positive. So that has kept me a bit quiet. So I'm trying to deliver on those. So it's really good. And that is just to say that it works. And you're not paying me to say this. It works.
Oh, that's cool, man. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, I mean, we always say it works as long as you work. Our system it's not a theory, right? A lot of places, I learned this technique from a guy named Alex Hormozy. And Alex Hormozy wrote some really famous business books. But I knew someone who had his $46,000 course thing. And I'm like, let me see what he's talking about, right? So I go through it, and I don't have a gym. You can look at me and see I don't own a gym. I don't own a gym. But I wanted to see how he was handling and making this money with this gym franchise model, right? And I looked at his thing, and I think backwards. So usually when you buy a business course, they teach you all the stuff first, and then the last module is how to get customers. You ever got a course and the last module was prospecting or Facebook ads and all of that stuff? Well, the first thing in his thing was Facebook ads and getting customers. Before he mentioned anything about the gym, the first thing was, how do I get you new customers? And I said, this is interesting. And then I watched a bunch of his interviews, and he explained, and I'm going to get to you, Tamika, I didn't forget about you, but he explained why he put the customers first. He said, if I give you all this information first, you'll go broke trying to get through all the how-to before you need it. But if I force you to have a customer tomorrow, you'll watch these videos in a week. Because you got a customer coming in and you don't want to be embarrassed. So you're going to go and watch all the videos versus learning all this stuff for what seems to be for nothing. So SpeakerHub is two things. Number one, we're a show your work company. We're going to have you to show your work because we're going to show our work. We're going to show you proof of everything that we ever teach you. But the second thing is that we're going to get you booked first. and then teach you all the other stuff on the background. Because having a great speech without an engagement is a waste of time. There are a lot of great companies out there that can help you to write a great speech, but they can't get you the gig. I've never seen a great written speech book a gig. I've just never seen it. You write your best speech and put it on your desk. I guarantee you, you'll never get a gig from it because nobody knows that you have that great speech on your desk. What we're saying is, hey, I can get you the gig. Go give that speech. Then you'll believe us. Right? But not only are we're not going to give you the gig, we're going to help you to book yourself. So now you're no longer dependent on anybody else for the delivery of your message or the getting your message to the people you want to get it in front of. Growing up in East St. Louis, I would hear it a lot. Man, ain't nobody coming to the hood to help you out. Ain't nobody, they don't give us no chance. I'm like, dude, why can't we give ourselves a chance? Right? Why can't we give ourselves a chance? We have our own hands, mouths, noses, feet. And then I moved to Colombia and I lived in Honduras and I lived in Costa Rica. And I'm like, man, we Americans, we're spoiled. We got all the opportunity in the world, but we're looking for a handout. We got it too easy. So I don't have a lot of sympathy for those who don't want to do the work. So as Leroy said, it works. But no, Leroy, you worked. You did what you needed to do. All we did was give you a process. So we're going to give you the cookbook to get you the basics. And then you can put all the cherries and the sweetener on top of it to make it how you want it. That's what we look at here at SpeakerHub. So if you're new here, those who've been with us for a while, they can tell you this is the passion that I put forward with this. People say, well, man, we paying this much every month. I'm like, ain't nobody paid more than me for SpeakerHub. I had to buy it. I didn't start this. I bought it from somebody. So I got more invested than everybody. So I understand your monthly payment, but you don't want to see mine. So I believe in it more than anybody else. My money is literally where my mouth is, right? So we encourage you to get on stage by just following very simple instructions. We only got one instruction to get anybody booked. There's only one thing you need to do, and that's pitch. Pitching is the proactive way of you sending an email to somebody. We not only give you the email address, we tell you which ones you should reach out to. We write the email for you. All you got to do is click the orange button to send it, to approve it. Our systems are approval-based. It's already done for you. You just need to approve what we suggest to you. So we're removing the excuses, Tamika. I just want to make sure you understand where you are. Because if you don't agree with this, you're going to hate it here. You are going to hate it here. You're going to say, I hate these folks. He keep telling me to reach out to people, to try to share my message. Yeah, you're a speaker. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to push you to go save some little young lady from the things that you've been through. I'm trying to save some kid who stopped growing at 16, who's still 5'5", who wanted to be an athlete, to let him know he could do something else. He could play a different sport. He could play the sport of business. He's not stuck growing up in East St. Louis. He can live around the world. AJ and I grew up 15 minutes away from each other. We met each other 6 years ago, living 15 minutes away from each other, 5,000 miles away from our hometowns. We're on a call for Black Speakers Network. And the guy said, man, we got to go down to Colombia to hang out with Ron after this pandemic. AJ sent me a message. Hey, man, you live in Colombia? I'm like, we're on the Zoom, but we're talking in the chat, in the private chat. You can just talk to everybody. You can send a message directly to one person. Say, you in Colombia? I'm like, yeah, I'm in Colombia. Man, I live in Colombia too. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just kind of, all right, whatever. He's like, I'm in Medellin. I'm like, yeah, I live in Medellin too. Cool. I live in Poblado. That's my neighborhood, right? Oh, okay, cool, man. Yeah, we definitely got to catch it. Where you live at in Poblado? I live in Energy Living. Wait, that's down the street from my house. Like, that's a 6-minute walk from my front door. I know exactly. Energy Living is the name of the building you lived in. I said, dude, that's cool. He says, yeah, by the way, I'm from Alton. Wait, I'm from East St. Louis. Alton and East St. Louis right next door to each other. We had no clue, right? So you just never know who you're standing next to. I believe that life has a way of having you find your people. I believe I got more people out here. I just don't know who they are. So I make myself open twice a day to try to find my people. SpeakerHub is about me finding my people who are on my mission to try to help do the same things that I'm willing to do, and they're willing to help me. People think, oh, well, you're doing this because you want customers. I do. But I also got a bigger mission. I need that little girl to be protected by your voice. I need the person who came from Alton that's like, man, I don't really know nothing in Alton. They can say, yo, I know AJ lives in South America. I ain't never heard of South America, but I'm gonna get my passport someday. There's some data scientist that wants to understand something. They don't know anything about STEM stuff and why data science is important. And Alicia, they're listening to you. There's a designer for Maria, and an engineer like Seyron, and a military leader like Leroy. This is what we're about. So just want to make sure you understood. I can't hug you through the phone, but I can hug you through my words, because I don't know if you understand how important your words are to somebody else. They just haven't heard them yet. And I wouldn't be doing my part if I didn't push it, Tamika. So you're in the right place. We're going to get you on some podcasts. We're going to get you on some small group meetings, and we're going to introduce you to some people for some conferences. All you got to do is stand up and deliver. I don't think you got a problem with that, because you did it in the first 5 seconds of hopping on the call. So we're good. Cool? Is that an agreement? High five? Cool. All right. So that's my welcome. Any other questions about it? Anything else? Because I don't think y'all understand. This is the beginning. It's so early. This is so early. We're only 6 months in the SpeakerHub. By the end of this month, we've added 12,000 new users in 6 months, right? 12,000 new speakers have joined us in 6 months, because we've done something that nobody else has done. We've, number one, stood on the truth, and we've become more available than any other software company in the world. You ain't gonna find Mark Zuckerberg. Elon may have me beat. I may give it to Elon. Elon may be more available than I am with Twitter. He always out there saying something. But I'm for the people. We gotta fix this little planet we live on. So any other topics, questions, comments?
Ron,
You had
do
your
you
hand
hear
up.
me?
You didn't ask. Oh, Saran, go ahead.
Yeah, I was texting today at the 12 o'clock. I think I was texting. I got at the beginning of the 12 o'clock today, a message from the AI note taker. And I think because I didn't do something when I was texting, like, I don't know if my text now went through. What is that AI note taker? I didn't understand today at the 12 noon from the SpeakerHub. There was a message pop up on the 12 o'clock saying, this is the AI SpeakerHub note taker. Please either click yes or no. I don't know what it was.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I think so with Zoom, they have these things that keep notes for me on the
Mhm.
backside. And I think
Mhm.
that you have to agree to it. I don't know what you all see. It's just a way
Okay.
for me to keep notes and things like
Okay.
that.
Okay. So now you saw my text. Like when I text now, when you said you are bleeding, I said that's a good sign. It went through, right?
Yeah, this
No?
is a good time. More money coming your way. Yep.
Yeah.
They say- oh
Okay,
yeah, I
that's a
mean, say Ron,
that's
you
a
know
Middle
Angela ain't
Eastern.
here, so I can't be reading the chat bots and
That's
talking
a
to y'all.
Middle
If I ain't,
Eastern, yeah. That's a Middle
Angela
Eastern.
reads all my notes. She reads all
Yes,
the chat bots and tells me
yes,
about them, because
yes,
I be talking too much to be reading at the same time.
yes, yes. So a couple of things. Today at 12 o'clock, you mentioned something very profound and important about the sales. You're going to teach us how to sell. And also you talked about this writing blogs and magazines. So those two items are very important, even to speaker, how to write blogs or how to write a magazine, and also how to be a better sales. We talked about this 2 days ago. I was thinking after the lifetime member, we reach a certain milestone, we can do like a master mind somewhere in Spain or something. We all meet, like a treat for all of us, like a vacation. everybody pay their plane or something. I know that you said most of the people are in Europe, so maybe meeting in Spain or I don't know, Italy or somewhere. If you guys willing to come to US, to my state, I offer that before your treat for lunch and dinner will be in my house.
Oh yeah, no, we always appreciate the invite. So Ron lives in DC, and last year during the Pro Speaker Summit, we did a virtual summit, and she's like, "We got to do something live and in person." So we're planning something for later this year that will be live. I don't know where it would be. We haven't decided yet. We have the virtual summit coming back up. AJ wants to do it here in Columbia because he don't want to go nowhere. He just want to stay here. But we and it may be we may need to do it here in Columbia because a lot of our employees probably won't be able to get visas to get into the US to come to the event. So, but we have the virtual summit coming up in April. This summit, the Pro Speaker Summit, is focused on product. The last one was focused on proactivity. If you go to prospeakersummit.com, you can watch the last 37 speakers that we had at the summit last year, including Les Brown, Kim Coles, Brian Olds, Christine Miles. I mean, we had a lot of great people. Let me see if I can bring this up. Pro Speaker Summit. And you can see all of our speakers, that Ross Bernstein, Ruby Newell, a lot of great people. Ruby Newell Legner, Keith Abraham. I mean, these are killers, right? And these guys, they all talked about being proactive, how they proactively booked themselves for stages, all the way from universities, from high schools to universities to corporate to, Les Brown spoke in front of 80,000 people in the Georgia Dome. So they all share their stories of how they do it. Tanya McKenzie has a great story about, being, I guess in Illinois, we call it a ward of the state where you were an orphan. And she's gone on to do some great nonprofit work and PR work with what she does. Amazing story, right? Christine Miles talks about how the best skill of a speaker is their ability to listen. And she talks about how listening can be your secret weapon as a speaker. Matt Pollard was 2023 Sales Speaker of the Year on the cover of Selling Power magazine. He was known as the best sales speaker in the world. So we, Sayron. Sayron was on there. Sayron was one of the only SpeakerHub new user speaker. She came in, she got booked so much. I said, Sayron, I got to reward you. You want to speak with some of your heroes? And she was like, who? And I'm like, I got you. Don't worry about it. We got a stage for you. So Sayron was our only user that we allowed to speak because she was already living the proactive thing that we talked about, meaning not waiting on someone to book them, right? So if you go back, this is free. You can go watch it. We don't charge for this education. You can go to Pro Speaker Summit and you can download the resources. They gave a lot of resources away. So if you listen to everybody's speech, they gave you something to take with you for you to be able to use to implement what they talked about in their speech. I think that's what that resources thing is. So all of these things were there to help you to get booked more. Nobody is doing it more than us. We're going to help you by force, okay? So we have the Spring Summit. We're staying with the theme of PRO because we introduced SpeakerHub Pro. So this one is about product. We want you introducing your courses and everything else. Only 30% of your speaker revenue should come from the stage. Let me say that again. Only 30% of your revenue in that business should come from the stage. You should be offering consulting and other things, right? Consulting, coaching, books, products, services, courses, whatever you need. You should be offering apps, whatever, putting on events, whatever you need to do. Only 30% of your revenue should come from you being on the stage. Had a call today with a gentleman, And he says, you know, I want to be an inspirational speaker. And I said, you already are. And he was like, huh? He says, well, no, I mean, I want to be a motivational speaker. So you ever spoke before? He said, yeah, I do it. I did it 3 times last year. You already are, right? You are what you do. He already been on the stage. You're a motivational speaker. We needed to find out, how did he define it? What is the what did he mean by it? Oh, I want to do 55 gigs a year. And I said, why? He said, I don't know. I said, okay. So let's work with you on that, right? What it came down to was that he had an income number and he divided the number, how much he could get paid per speech, into the income number. And it turned out to be 55 gigs. And I asked him, I said, how many kids you got, man? He said, I got 4 kids. I got 2 girls and 2 boys. I said, I bet you love spending time with them. He's like, yeah, man, I love being around my kids. I said, you ready to see them 2 days a week? He was like, huh? I said, if you're going to do 50 gigs, when do you think you're going to arrive to the speaking gig? He was like, probably the day before. Okay, I said, so that's Tuesday. You give the speech on Wednesday. If you're doing 2 a week, like you try to do, you're going to be gone Thursday and Friday. You're going to get home on Saturday. He was like, y'all don't want to do that. I said, all right, so how can we make up for that income by you not living in an airport and being away from your kids, right? And he was like, yeah, nobody's ever told me that. Everybody just keeps telling me, you know, I got a story that everybody should hear. And I expressed to him that stories are not only heard, but they're also read. Not only are they read, but they're also experienced. But not only are they experienced, but they're also learned from. So that's a course, that's a book he could write, that's a training he could do live, right? And he could still tell his story at the same time. So we got to stop thinking about what we do in one modality. Does that make sense? Right? So, you know, my little cranberry juice here, it comes frozen in a thing where you add water to it. They got it in Kool-Aid. You can just put the powder in there. You can get it in concentrate. It'll make your face do like this if you drink concentrated cranberry juice. Anybody ever had concentrated cranberry juice that ain't had water in it? You'd be like, oh, well, this is the most sour stuff ever, right? But it's the same cranberry juice manifested in a different form. So that's how we have to think of our intellectual property. You're not just a speaker, you're a thought leader, right? Your job is to use your thoughts to be able to inspire other people. But number one, to lead. Never seen so many thought leaders with nobody to lead. Got to lead somebody to be a thought leader, right? So start where you are. Start with the audience you have. So say, Ron, we're going to help you. We're going to help you with learning to sell. We're going to help you with introducing a product. Because most speakers quit after 9 months. They don't change their title on LinkedIn, but they stop being the speaker in action because they didn't make any money like the dream that they were sold when they bought the high price training. They were told they were going to be able to quit their job in 3 months if they bought this course. We ain't telling you that goofy stuff over here. We respect the industry. You got to be able to build up a skill, you know. Alicia got a PhD. A lot of people out here buying PhDs. I know y'all. Yep. Y'all my customers, but I don't like it. I think it's fake. I think it's goofy. It's disrespectful to people like Alicia, who sit and busted her butt to do the homework. Y'all just paid some goofy church. Nah, that ain't how we do it over here. We ain't playing them games. So get mad at me. We don't care.
I've given up. I feel like we live in the time of expertise is not exactly valued. You got to come with something else.
Well, nobody's holding anybody accountable, Alicia.
Yeah.
That's why we start with accountability, showing your work. We call it the speaker launch formula, right? I'm going to teach that today. We're going to talk about the speaker launch formula, right? I'm going to take 10 minutes and walk you all through this. And it's a really simple formula, right? So let me bring up my slides and I'm going to go over what I call the speaker launch formula. And let me see if I could bring the slides up here. So let me see. Here we go. We know that most people, they don't want to do the work. They're trying to take a shortcut. But what we all learn as entrepreneurs is that the long cut is the shortcut. I know it don't make sense, but the hard work, doing your homework is what makes things go faster because you get leverage over everybody else. You learn things that everybody else doesn't learn. I want AJ to share a story about what he learned about sending emails, because we talk about this all the time, where I made my living sending emails for people and getting people booked and setting sales appointments. And AJ was like, yeah, man, can you show me how to do it? I'm like, yeah, it's these 5 things. And he's like, no, it got to be more than that. I said, well, some stuff I can't teach you. You just got to do it. Some stuff you just going to figure out. You don't know what hot means until you touch that stove when you 4 years old. Or you that iron following your finger, you like, yeah, that's hot. So, AJ, can you talk a little bit about why certain things you got to do to learn them? Because the lesson is in the nuance.
Yeah, so when Ron was teaching me how to send emails, he sat down with me for an hour and we recorded. I still have the video, and he's taking me through it, and he's like, do this, do this, do this. And I'm like, cool. So once I get finished, I'm like, oh, I got this. And it wasn't until I started doing it that I started realizing it was all these little nuances that he couldn't have told me, because you probably, like, he's been doing it so long, it's second nature to him. And it's certain things that I'm like, oh, I actually don't like it to be this way. And I only know now because I'm actually in there doing it. Like, he would have had to probably sit with me for 2 years and let me watch him every day, and I still probably would have missed half the stuff, because if you're not in there doing it, you just don't, it's the little nuances that make it great. And I'm telling you, even with us pitching now, like, I just got like, this is funny, Ron, this just happened. I just got a message back from a lady that said, no, she didn't want to talk to me because I thought she had just started business. And when I went back and read my message, I was like, oh, I was telling her I was new. She thought I was telling her she was new. Stuff like, I didn't put a comma in there. Now I know, go put a comma, because if they just read it straight, this is how they're going to read it. Nobody can tell you that. You have to pitch. You have to get out there and do the work. Like, I can teach you how to swim from a classroom all day, and you will still drown when you get water, because it is totally different when you in it. And that's what I've learned. So please just start, because even with all of this, you're going to learn so many tricks that help you out that it becomes amazing.
No, that's exactly it. And I'm going to show you how we know that this is true. Some things you can just see and you remember the experience. It was so impactful on you that you say, you know what? I would have never learned this lesson and what this felt like if I didn't ride that bike. Everybody who's ever had a bike with these pedals know what these pedals about. Your shins done been hit. And just seeing this pedal makes you remember where you was when that joint spun back and hit your daggone shin on your leg. You probably still got the scar. This is called experiential learning. I may be aging myself with this, but this is, I remember my sister had a yellow Huffy with these old stupid pedals on it. And boy, did my knees get tore up with this, right? But this is what we're talking about. This was called accountability when I was a kid, right? You learned to ride a bike because you was going to pay if you didn't know how to use the brakes, right? So let's talk about the speaker launch formula. I believe that in order to get consistent engagements, which is the C and E, you need first a strategy. At Speaker Launch, at SpeakerHub, we give you a strategy. It's called the Speaker Flywheel. You need inbound and outbound leads working together, right? You can't just sit and wait on people to come get you. But at the same time, you can't just pitch either. You got to have them both. Because when you send the email, they're going to click your link to look at your website, to look at your LinkedIn, to look at your speaker one sheet and your profile to make sure you are who you said you were. Does that make sense? So you need a strategy. Once you have a strategy, you need a process, right? So we give you the daily process of what you should be doing. How many podcasts should you be reaching out to? How many associations? How many conferences? How many media outlets? We give you that recipe for success. Now, here's the funny thing. If you don't have a repeatable process, you can't have the third thing. You can't have accountability without a repeatable process. So if I said, AJ, what you do today? And he said, oh man, I was just working. Okay, what you work on? Oh, I sent this many pitches and I had this many sales meetings. Cool. I could hold him accountable if he did the number of pitches he wanted to do and if he got the number of sales meetings he wanted. Do you see that? But if he's just out there doing random stuff, I can't hold him accountable. So if you got 2 out of the 3, you can't succeed. Let me say it again. If you got 2 out of the 3, it doesn't work. A process and accountability with no strategy, you just busy. You're just busy at work. You don't know which direction you're going in. You're just pedaling on a treadmill. If you got a strategy and a process, but nobody's holding you accountable, you're going to get lazy because ain't nobody driving you and making sure you're doing what you need to do. If you got strategy and accountability, but no process, you're just doing random stuff. Does that make sense? So, how many of y'all ever made a cake? We've all baked a cake, right? So I got a strategy. The strategy is I want to make a cake. So I went and got all the ingredients. But what if I did the recipe in reverse? I put the icing in the bowl first. I put the flour on the cake last. Yeah, okay. You know how that turned out. Shows the importance of a process, doesn't it? You can have all the ingredients, but you mix them in the wrong order and you're screwed. You're not going to get what you expect. So the speaker launch formula is basically that. We teach you about how do you take a strategy, which is our speaker flywheel, right? How do you take that speaker flywheel of taking small gigs and turning them into large gigs? How do you take the process? Let me show you what I'm talking about. No matter where you are on the speaker flywheel, if you're a new speaker, you should be on podcasts and associations. So we tell you, just pitch 5 of these a day, you'll be good. You'll end up on 48 podcasts and 12 associations. If you're a more experienced speaker and you're doing conferences, you need to add 5 of them. So you end up on a podcast a week, an association a month, and a conference a quarter. And if you're trying to do this full time, you probably need to be doing double the work. Does this make sense? So this is what we live and die by. Every single day, our speakers are in doing this work. They're following this recipe. Why? Because I just have to believe that if you did the work over a year's time, it pays off, right? If you really got on 48 podcasts, you probably impacted 17,000 people, right? If you did all of those associations meetings once a month, those 50 people in that small group, you were live in front of 600 people at those associations. And if you went to medium-sized conferences with 200 people, you did one of those a month, you just helped 20,000 people. Now, we look like that nowadays with social media. We act like 20,000 ain't nothing. Y'all got a theater in y'all city? Like in the St. Louis, we got the Fox Theater. It's where like when you're a comedian, you can't do the big arena, but you can do the stadium with the red seats and they got the velvet and all of that. They got them in every city, probably like some theater, right? That theater holds 1,000 folks. We didn't all been to an event where ain't that many people in those rooms. So we got to start respecting the numbers. That 100 people is a lot of people, right? 100 folks. If you don't believe me, invite 100 people to your house to eat for free, right? Tamika, you talking to us?
I'm just kind of piggyback from what you're saying
Yeah,
because
we couldn't hear you. You was
no,
muted. So
yeah, I was just talking, but perspective is everything because if you like what I say, it could be 1,000 people, but it's not 1,000 people because somebody's assigned to the person that's present there, and you don't know the shift, the trajectory of the lives that are to even come and the people that's assigned and attached to them. So that's what my mindset and my focus is. So that's all I was saying.
Yep. Let me show you this. I think there is a photo that says this is 100 people. Visualizing crowd sizes. Right? I like these little nerdy things like this. Right? This is 100 people right here. Invite all these people to your house, and 100 people ain't nothing. Okay. All right. All right. That's a lot of folks to have at your house. They're going to be outside. Half of them going to be outside. Let me just go and tell you. I don't care how big your house is. Half of them going to be outside because once 30 of them get in, it's going to be hot. You may have enough space, but 30 folks going to be hot in your house. This is 100 people, right? You will have a chance just by getting on podcast. Imagine, let's talk about podcasting for a second, right? Alicia, you offer courses or training or something like that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Right? If I said, hey, can you hop on? I got a group of people who is in your exact target audience. It's only about 30 of them, but they got the money to buy from you. They may not all buy from you, but they're your target audience. I got them on a Zoom. Would you hop on that Zoom call?
Yes,
Every day.
every day.
People say, I want to go on the big podcast. Dude, you ain't mastered the little podcast. And a podcast is the host giving you a referral to their audience, no matter how big the size is. They're saying, hey, I trust Alicia enough to let her introduce herself and her products to y'all. Right? If I had a better option, I would have somebody else. But this is the best I got. So I'm going to bring her on, and she's going to help y'all do the thing I don't know how to do. Does that make sense? So we would never turn down a referral to 100 people, but we poop on podcasts that only got 100 downloads. Like, you out of your mind? You don't know who listening to this podcast, right? If y'all were here Monday, we had somebody drop a little secret on us. This young lady had been to every freaking call that we've had this year. And it's already in the video, so I can mention it, and she's not here, so I don't want to put her on the spot. But I'm on the call, and they said, oh, yeah. One of the guys was like, I love your work. I love your movies. I love it. I'm like, who is he talking about, right? And he says, yeah. So I look her up. And she's been to every single call we've done this year, and it is Diana Ross's daughter, right? We had no clue. Why? Because we give her the same smoke we give everybody else. Send them pictures. Hey, I understand. Okay, now I understand. But so what? You still need to send them pictures tomorrow. Because you just never know who's in your presence. You never know the opportunity or the person that you're impacting. Does this make sense? You just never know who's listening to you. Now imagine if I'd have been off my game. And I've been half doing it. I was about to say something else. I've been half behind in it. I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube. When this YouTube thing get over, cause to keep my teeth white. So, but on YouTube, I gotta not do it. Right? So you just never know who's in your audience. So you should always be on your A game. Right? Does that make sense? So here's the great thing. We were talking about accountability and the speaker launch formula. Right? Now, why did I bring that up? Because speakers are easily held accountable. Because when you get on stage, guess what happens? If you suck, you're going to get booed. So there's instant accountability in public for a speaker. Would you agree? When you get on stage, you're going to get booed. When you get booked, the event planner is going to hold you to being there on time and doing everything you need to do. Make sure you're presentable. Don't curse on my stage. Stand on this X so the cameraman have the light on you. They give you all these rules to respect their stage. So you're held accountable in public. Speakers are not held accountable in private in doing the work to get on that stage. That's why we do these calls. Because I'm going to celebrate you. I'm going to pat you on the back. Tell me where you got booked. Let's go. Now let's go get booked somewhere else. Right? I'm a hug and push dude. Great job. Get back out there. Good job. Get your ass back on stage, right? That's what we need to do. That's the job of SpeakerHub. We got to hold you accountable, but it has to be both ways. I can't, y'all, how many times y'all be holding us business owners accountable, but we never get to hold the customers accountable? Yeah, okay. All right. You ain't going to tell me my stuff don't work and you ain't been using it. I wish you would. We will post what you said. That's why we got that leaderboard. I can see exactly who's sending their emails and who not. You ain't about to tell me, oh man, I tried SpeakerHub, it didn't work. You sent 13 pitches. Your butt sent your whole 3 months on SpeakerHub trying to pitch Joe Rogan. You were never gonna make it on Joe Rogan, bro. Look at Alicia. Alicia like, what is he doing? Right? So does this make sense to Mika, what we do? Strategy, process, accountability. Can we agree to those 3 things? That you need a strategy, a process, and accountability, right? Where did we lose you? What started this? Once I see that, I lost you somewhere.
No, because I just joined LinkedIn and I went to an event. So I've been speaking. I published my book. I have a book. I started my YouTube channel. I have a talk show channel. I've been doing things. So as a business owner, navigating what that looks like, because I jumped and I was obedient. So this is my life. Like, this is it. I started consultation. I had my first client yesterday with a one-on-one consultation. So I'm doing things. I'm in the process of starting another book series. There's books that came in me when I finally stopped running. I guess SpeakerHub is like a monthly subscription program. Like, I don't fully comprehend what it is about. Again, I just joined LinkedIn and people were like, you need to type in speaker groups. So I did that, and whatever this group was, that popped up. So I'm not really fully cognizant of what all of this entails.
Oh no, that's perfectly fine. But do we agree in principle that you're gonna need a strategy with or without us? Is that something we agree to? You're gonna need a strategy. You can unmute, you can stay unmuted, right? Yeah,
Okay.
we're a family.
Okay.
It's a family reunion.
You know, it's just used to, you gotta be on mute. People take you off mute.
I got a button over if I want to make you be quiet. I can just put you out.
I got you.
You good. So can we agree you need a strategy?
1000%. Yeah.
And we agree it probably is in your best interest to have a repeatable process.
Process is good, yes.
Right? And it always helps to have accountability.
What you said.
And accountability isn't just somebody screaming at you when you didn't do it. It's them giving you a hug when you did do it too.
Right.
That's what reinforces it and makes you want to do it more.
Right. Everybody wants to be praised and acknowledged.
Hey, look, we celebrate the winners. And in my fraternity, we say no love for the other side.
Okay.
Right? It's winning or nobody else. Losers can go somewhere else, but we believe everybody has the potential to win. Just got to do the work. So we got you a strategy, we got you a process, and we got accountability, right? If we agree to that, we can teach you the strategy. We can teach you the process, and we can give you the accountability. But if you don't believe in those 3 things, who cares what our strategy is? Who cares what the recipe is, the process of what you should be doing on a daily basis? Accountability ain't gonna really help because you ain't following the process that's repeatable anyway, and you ain't going in the right direction. So that's why we want you to remember the first principles. If we can get you to agree to that, we got you. That's why Alicia came back. We got her yesterday. She said, I got to come back over here. These people talking my language. Data-driven stuff for business in a world where nobody wants to show what they're doing. They just want to claim 6 figures. Get up out of here with that crap, man. Right. So I want to show you, here's what we do. Tamika, you mentioned you had a YouTube channel. You were on this other thing. In business, there are certain things called traps and spears. Let me show you again. Traps and spears. Imagine I'm a hunter, right? There's 2 ways I can catch deer. I can put a trap down there on the ground and hope that the deer walk into it. I can take my spear and go where the deer is and throw it at them. Most people are good at putting down traps. I'm on YouTube. Yeah, but you hoping somebody come to your YouTube channel. I'm on social media. Yeah, I gotta hope that Mark Zuckerberg show my inspirational story to somebody. I'm on LinkedIn. I gotta hope. That's a trap. It's okay to have the traps out there, but you better have some spears in your hand too. You better have some rocks to throw. You better pick up some bricks because you're gonna get hungry. Does that make sense? So let me show you our traps and spears. All right. So at SpeakerHub, every 51 minutes, somebody gets hit with a spear. They get booked. We get an event plan and we pluck them on the back of the head every 51 minutes, and they end up in a meeting with one of our speakers, right? We are the largest commission-free AI-powered speaker bureau in the world. We got 63,000 customers that we work with from all stages, from beginners like you, Tamika, to experts like AJ, who's been doing speaking and training for 10 years or so, right? We help you to get paid gigs, podcast interviews, and press coverage. We do it by offering a unique suite of tools that are only available to our members. They're not available to anybody else. If you're not at SpeakerHub, you don't have this, right? But here's the traps and the spears I was talking about. The trap is our website. We help you set up a web page so that when somebody Googles you, they step in your trap and not somebody else's. Does that make sense? Because there's a lot of speakers on your topic, a lot of speakers with a similar story to yours, a lot of speakers that are in your neighborhood, right? But when they go in, I'm going to go over here to this page, and you see these are some of our clients, right? So I'm just going to pick a random one. Which one should I look up? Give me a name off of here. Which one you want to look up? Keith Herman, Charlotte Kemp, Daniel Gasser. Which one? Tell me one, Tamika.
Give me a minority female.
Okay, so let's find a minority female. I saw a minority, but
Red hair right there. You passed her. I saw red hair.
Where at? Right here?
That
Maya
works.
Tyler?
We'll do Maya. Maya's fine.
Okay, all right. I ain't see no other red hair. I can't see, so you gotta, let's do Maya Tyler, right? We type that in. Where her first picture come from? You see that first picture? What website is that, Tamika?
I got you. Says SpeakerHub.
SpeakerHub, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we look for her just on random. Her SpeakerHub profile comes up first. But event planners, they search for people and they put speaker after their name to make sure that they don't get this Maya Tyler or this Maya Tyler or this one, right? It's like the Spider-Mans that's all doing that, Maya Tyler.
Right.
Pointing at each other. We need the one that's a speaker. So they're going to put speaker behind the person's name, right? And what came up? Some of her speeches, which is great. But her speaker profile is right here.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's what we call a trap. We want to set a trap for you so that they find you and not Maya Tyler, the volleyball player.
Totally.
Got it? So that's the trap. All right. So trap music, TI, right? So that's how you set down a trap where people can reach out to you. On the other side, you got to sometimes go with a spear or a rock and go throw and crack somebody across the head.
Oh, we're just so hostile. No.
Yeah, that's it. Look, your life is on the line. Somebody else is on the line. We got to go get them. Right? Now,
Oh
look,
my
once you
goodness.
catch them in your trap, hug them. I ain't say you got to eat them, but just hug them. But we got to catch you a event planner that's going to put you on stage. All right? So let me show you how.
Tracking with you. I'm tracking with you, dude.
I'm just
Go
saying,
ahead.
hey, look.
I'm tracking.
Give me a better analogy and I'll use it, but I don't have no better one right now. So we're going to roll with what we got until you give me a better one. So, traps and spears.
Bye, AJ.
Oh yeah, AJ had to go to his class. AJ got a coaching class he had to go to, right? So we're 4 minutes in overtime, guys. Every day we go for an hour and then we go into overtime. Overtime is once we cross the hour mark, we're 4 minutes in overtime. So I'm going to show Tamika right now what we mean by going to get something, doing outbound, not waiting on someone to come step in our trap. This is SpeakerHub Pro. The Pro is for proactive. Okay? It's not for professional, it's for proactive. This is where proactive speakers reach out to the stages they want to be on. So, Tamika, what is it that you do? You help young girls to do what?
Oh no. So my taglines, I impart encouragement and hope to help people optimize in their life.
Encouragement and hope
For life
to help
optimization. Mhm.
you optimize your life. Boom. Right? And where are you located?
I'm in Portland, Oregon.
Portland. Oh, it's early over there. It's about 10 o'clock over here. It's like 3:30 in Portland.
No, it's 5 p.m.
Oh yeah, the sun went down over here a long time ago where I live. We'll change my name to yours for 15
It would be
minutes.
Tamika L. Herbert, because that's
bad.
because there are yeah.
My bad. This just, but this, I'm gonna change it back to Ron's story in 20
No, I
minutes.
got you. You ain't going on that, Tamika. I got you.
Speaker and author. Yeah, this is my personal account. I can't, people gonna be sitting, who is Tamika? You know, we don't want to confuse them. And what's you got a business name?
Say again, do I have my
A
business?
name? Yep.
It's Tamika L. Herbert, LLC.
Okay, all right. At Tamika L. Herbert. Now, I'm going to show you how this works. So you see, we put your stuff in it. You got a website?
TamikaLHerbert.com.
Look at that. She is on brand. That is how I like it. Makes it so much easier, right? And I assume you're on LinkedIn. Tamika.
I just,
That's
go ahead and
it.
give me the feedback.
Bam.
What the?
There it is. The breast cancer warrior. Is that you?
That's me.
Bam. 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 You went to Florida State?
Yes.
Bam. Go Seminoles. Oh, you talk about you don't like.
Well, we're not gonna go there. I went to Florida State because I thought I was in love. I'm Gators all day, every day. But anyway.
Okay, my bad. All right, my
Alicia,
bad.
you know how we do sometimes, huh? You laughing hard. You know when we was younger, we ain't gonna.
Oh, you know Alicia already?
No, I was just talking to her. Yeah, because we
okay.
just met.
We
But
just
she
met.
feel me?
I didn't know y'all was both from Florida, you know?
No, we're
No,
not from Florida. She's talking about chasing. Yes.
Okay. I don't know what y'all talking
the
about.
things we do
I
when
agree
we
with
think
you.
we in love. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Y'all speaking a whole nother language than what I know.
You wouldn't know. Yeah,
You know?
you wouldn't know.
You're talking such violence.
I said hostile. I didn't say violence, just hostile. Oh, goodness.
All right. So basically what's happening to me is the AI is looking at your website, looking at your LinkedIn, and thinking about what you said you do. It is going to write a bio. So it's going to replace that right there. As you see, I am Tamika L. Herbert, a dedicated speaker and author based in Portland, Oregon. My mission is to empower individuals by imparting encouragement and hope, guiding them towards optimizing their life through my talks and writings. I strive to inspire actionable change and personal growth, helping my audience to discover their potential and pursue their dreams with confidence and passion. Does that sound accurate?
Okay. Okay.
All right. So that's what we were able to put together about you as a bio. Now, here's the cool thing about it. When we click on podcast, we're already giving you resiliency podcast that you should go on to talk about your story.
At the front door.
Right? So if I want to go here on this resilience podcast, I can come over here. It says this is about stories and insights to help people to thrive in a challenging world, from fighting burnout and trauma to building resilient families and communities. We explore what's possible when science meets the human spirit. Right? So now I can click here. I can listen to this podcast. It's playing right here on my speakers. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to go on it. All I do is click add to a list. Once I'm there, all I do is click pitch. Just like your normal human agent would do, our AI-powered agent is going to look at your profile, look at that podcast, and it wrote the pitch for you.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, I used to say something different, but it was the same.
Yeah, I know. It helps keep your teeth clean. I got you. I heard that earlier.
I used to say the same thing. Right? So I decided I wanted to make this a little longer. I didn't want it to be that short pitch. I wanted to say a little bit more about me. So there it is. Now I got 3 paragraphs talking about how I believe I can help them on their podcast. All I do is click send, and it's going to send them that email. How cool is that? How many of those you think you can send a day? Yeah. So we gave you the strategy. Here's the process. Now we just got to hold you accountable to do it. So here's what we do. We show every day. We can see who's been sending and who ain't been sending. Right? Don't tell me you want to speak. You ain't willing to throw a rock at somebody. Right? In this case, it's just the email. It's a figurative rock, but it's a rock that can change your life. Right? This is what we do. So from podcasts to associations, right, to media outlets, to conferences, you can come in and search whatever you want. You want to go to women's conferences, type in women, brings up a gang of those. You want to type at Christian conferences, type in Christian. It's going to bring up a gang of those. We got it 6 months out, but if I just put it on all, we got a gang of Christian and church conferences, a lot of women's conferences. We got everything you need to be able to get your message out. 900 conferences right here. Ain't no more Googling and making them goofy spreadsheets. Right? So you can follow up right here, be able to put in your notes, let them know, hey, this person said follow up in March or whatever. All of that is right here, right in your hands. You don't need to pay for 18 different systems. You're in the right place.
So if I can, you know what? Maybe this did Jake Thompson come through SpeakerHub? Do you know Jake Thompson? I think that's
63,000.
So is this the same place? Because I'm thinking when he was talking about his process, he is on LinkedIn. And he was talking about, so this particular system does.
Is this it right here?
Yes.
There's Jake Thompson.
He is. Okay. So yeah, he came here and okay.
I don't know Jake personally, but that's Jake. And we got proof. We got proof that he is using this. He can't say he ain't.
Okay. So everything is set up in the system for you.
Yep.
In this system, your profile, your whatever it is, it's set up here for you.
You come in and you set it up. Watch this. Now, you said you're new to speaking, right?
As far as making it a career.
Okay. You got a signature talk?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a signature talk?
Like my go-to?
Mm-hmm.
I would say at this point, not really, because I could talk about so many different things, but we can say breast cancer. We can utilize breast cancer.
Okay.
I did a lot of
So
talk
breast
about
cancer
that.
would be a topic, but I'm gonna give you a
Oh.
talk, right?
Okay,
So let me
okay.
show you what I mean by this. Because when you told me what you did, you didn't mention the breast cancer or anything. You came from a different perspective. So we're gonna we're gonna keep that perspective so that you can keep your audience broad and talk to men and women. Does that make sense? So
Yes, and men do get breast cancer.
but it's unknown. A lot of times we don't even think about it from that perspective. So
Mhm.
imagine having a master framework that you can take to the stage or on a podcast. We're going to write one for you right here. So we're going to give you the one called Inspire. First, you need to identify. People need to help identify their unique message and stories that they want to share. We need them to nurture their skills and their confidence in delivering that message. We want them to strategize for increasing visibility and reaching the right audience. We want to encourage that they practice to perfect what they're doing. But you see what I mean? We can help you to
Okay.
put together something so that people can tell their story and be more inspiring.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? Now,
Yes.
this is probably going off of my old stuff because the AI has my background in it, right? But when I come down to your signature talk, I can hit rewrite, and it should be rewriting it based on what's in your branding kit, right? So when you set this up for yourself, it'll have your information, not a bunch of my stuff in it, kind of confusing it.
I
But let's
got
see
you.
what it still says. So we believe there's only 3 speeches that can be given. You can help someone be a better leader, you can help someone build a skill, or you can help someone to make money. Every speech that's ever been given in life fits in those 3 categories. Right? So resiliency is a skill building trait. So we can show you how to give that speech from a skill building perspective. It's also something that leaders could use. They can learn to lead with empathy and be more inspiring. But it also helps you to grow a business if you can tell stories of how you went from trauma to triumph, from overcoming. That's all we do every day as entrepreneurs. We overcome one bill collector at a time.
Listen, Linda, listen. Okay.
Just
1,000.
right? But we give you all of these different tools so that you are ready to go when your name is called. Make sense?
Totally.
This is
Thank
what
you
we do.
for explaining what this organization is really about and what you do. I'm a visual person. Thank you for
Yep.
that.
Is it a little bit less this now? Okay. All right, we done progressed. We went from this to this. That's a good move. Cool. Any other questions? This is how we help. We would love to have you as a client of ours in any form that you feel is fit. All we ask you to do is to go to speakerhub.com if you haven't already. And we have a little form that we ask you to fill out. On SpeakerHub, we ask if you want to get started, you click that orange button and you can choose to sign up as apply to be a speaker in our bureau. Right? You can see Lethea just pitched Women for ME. I don't know what that is, but it's probably the rest of it. That word's cut off, right? Women for Me conference. Okay. And then right now we're here on the co-working, which is what you already know. But if you apply here, we will learn a little bit about you as a speaker. We will help you with the report. We will put together a full analysis of you as a speaker and share it with you so that you can see. Let me give you a sample one. 1 second, I'm going to bring up my speaker analysis so that you can see what that looks like.
So if I can make sure everyone here, they have been doing the speaking industry and other things for a while. So it looked like what you showed me, there's different levels to this.
Yep, but let me show you. Let me share this. I think because we work with everybody. Okay, so let me bring up our score app thing here. All right, so people get the wrong image because of the internet. Again, the internet doesn't have accountability, guys. Because of the internet, you get the wrong perspective sometimes of where everybody is. All right. So I'm going to share. This is a thing we call speaker status. So we've asked about 1,000 people these questions over the last 3 weeks. Okay. Now, out of all of our speakers, we have, let me just show you here, speakerstatus.com, right? So we have these 5 badges that Maria has made, and they determine what level of speaker you are. You see what I mean? So some people are exploring speakers. They're just trying to decide if speaking is even for them. Some speakers are emerging. They've been doing it for 1 to 3 years. They're getting a gig every once in a while, but they're still trying to get this consistency. Experienced speakers are usually pretty consistent. They're doing it as much as they want to do it, either on a full-time or a part-time basis. The expert speakers are doing this full-time. And then there are the elites like Tony Robbins, Kim Coles, Les Brown. Those folks, they are already famous. They're winning, right? Those are our elite speakers. So we have the stats to show how many speakers fit in that category, right? 47% of speakers are emerging. They're just trying to figure it out. They've been doing it for less than 3 years. The other half of the industry is kind of experienced. They may not be full-time though, but there ain't a lot of expert and elite speakers according to our categories, right? Because a lot of people haven't been doing it long enough, or they haven't figured how to get enough money out of it to do it as their only full-time job. So only about 20% of speakers are full-time speakers. If we look at how many of these folks say they do it full-time, only 22% say it's their full-time job. The other 78%, they're just doing it part-time. Is this a surprise? Okay, you remember.
I muted again. Yeah, not really. Sort of, kind of, but not really.
Okay. So 44% of speakers did less than 5 gigs last year. Right? 65% did less than 10. That's 1 a month. Including podcast appearances, they're doing less than 1 a month. Right? So don't feel bad. If you're like, oh, I only did 5 last year. Yeah, you average. That's good. Average is a good place to be.
Okay.
Right? That means you're right in the middle. Right? Most people will make you believe they getting paid $18 million per speaking gig. 43% of them ain't even getting paid $1,000. But they're passionate about their message. So they want to help. I don't get paid anything to speak. I go speak because I want to talk and I want to help. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's where my transition, like I'm the brand and it's just a mindset reframe, right?
Yeah.
Like I have something of value to offer and people want to compensate me for that. So
exactly.
that's where I'm at.
So don't feel bad for charging $3,000 for a speech or $5,000 for a speech. Because I would rather have 20 $5,000 speeches than 2 $10,000. You do that math, 20 times 5 is better than 10 times 2. Okay.
1,000%.
I just count the money, right? So 76% of the industry is under $5,000 per speech. Well, the average is right around 3,000 when we looked at it, right? But why is that important? Because sometimes we can start feeling bad. Well, man, I ain't making enough for my speaking. Cool, right? We can see that 70% of the industry is not even doing minimum wage as a speaker. That's why it's a part-time thing. If we add this 68% plus the 12, 80% of the industry is doing less than $50,000 a year. But I'm not surprised by that because that's what the average income is in America. Is this making sense?
Totally.
So don't feel bad that you're not making 19 figures from your message in your first 2 weeks. You just got to keep going. But you got to add the other things. You got to add books and programs and all those other things, right? A lot of people have these books and programs, but guess what? They're not doing very many sales meetings. So that's why we've been talking about, we got to help you to sell more because a lot of folks aren't having enough sales meetings. Look at this. 79% have less than 5 sales meetings a month. How you gonna sell something you ain't talking to nobody about what you got?
Mm,
That's what say Ron was asking. Ron, you're gonna finally teach us how to sell. Yes. Because this is the way you stay in business.
mm.
Would McDonald's still be in business if all they did was give away food? No, they gotta sell food. They gotta sell food, right? So that's what this is about, right? So this is why we're data driven. We're gonna show you
Mm.
numbers, and every survey that we've done, the numbers look the same, and they're not coming from the same people. Does that make sense? So we
Yes.
overlap the numbers. It's like, oh, this matches exactly what. There's another company, Speaker Flow. They surveyed their customers and their folks, and they had this. It's crazy. I put our reports into their reports in the Chat GPT. Crazy the overlap in the data that they got versus what we got.
Okay.
Right. So I want you to be encouraged by these numbers that you're not behind. There's a lot of, I mean, look, let me show you. These folks are optimistic.
That's me, Ron. I mean, like I said, like my mindset is just so totally different. I'm not big on comparison. I just want to be better than I was the day before,
Yeah.
right? Like that is, I can get on my soapbox because that's
go
what
ahead.
has created so much depression, comparison, like suicide. Also, my background, how I work, where I work, things of that nature. And so I'm very intentional. If there's 5 people in the room, I've shifted one person's life. Like when I worked in juvenile correction, that one kid who came back, the life of those people assigned to them and coming after them, their lives are shifted and changed. And I don't know how many people that is. So that's kind of like where my mindset is and how I view stuff. I'm just at a place where, yeah, I'm really owning who I am, and revenue has to come in as well as, yeah, I am in Toastmasters as well. So last year joined that, went all the way to district. This year I will be in Philadelphia for the World Championship of Public Speaking. I'm claiming that. So I'm on the process of that as well. But yeah, I'm really big about just hope and agape love is what I'm about. And so many people need that. Doesn't matter who you are, does not matter who you are. So
No, that makes sense. I
this
mean,
is
ain't nothing
very
worse in the
important.
world than a pessimistic motivational speaker.
Yeah, yeah.
You're a
Heart
pessimistic,
motives though.
inspirational
People can do
speaker.
it for the wrong reasons, you know? Like I'm here is people over profit. I know I need profit, but I'm going to pour into people, and the money, the compensation will come. That is my belief. I own that. Come on, Saron. I can as your professional era will never be the same after join. All right. Yeah, I would definitely have to go to the website, look it up. I think I know somebody personally who may be a part of this program, and just talk to them.
Yeah.
So
I mean, ask them. Now, here's the difference. A lot of 52,000 people were a part of SpeakerHub before I owned it. So their impression, I just bought SpeakerHub in June. I was running a SpeakerHub competitor up until June. It was owned by a group of owners out of Belgium, right? So I bought SpeakerHub in June of last year. At the time, we had 52,000 customers. Today, we're crossing over into 64,000 customers over the last 8 months. So some people know the old SpeakerHub when it was just the directory. They don't know SpeakerHub Pro. They don't know this new thing that we're doing. Only about 1,000 people are using SpeakerHub Pro. Does that make sense? So
okay.
the outbound part, that's still foreign to speakers. A lot of them don't believe in it, but I'm like, that's why y'all not getting booked. Because when I go look at the numbers, we pull back up, and we're gonna talk about this gap in the gain thing. I'm gonna explain that to you. But when we look at the numbers in the Score app, we can see how many people are doing outbound. Look at this. Only 10% of them were doing outbound. Does that make sense?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Everybody else was setting traps, waiting. waiting on the
Mm.
bureau to book them, waiting on social media, Mark Zuckerberg to book them, repeat business from previous clients. If you ain't have no clients, how you get repeat business?
So is this not a speaker bureau? Is this not
We
like
are.
a?
Yeah,
I'm
we
sorry?
are a speakers bureau, but
Okay.
guess what? We're a proactive speakers bureau. You gonna do it. You gonna take control of your own career and not say my agent ain't worth nothing. No, you're gonna be your own agent. We're just gonna let you use AI to do it. Does that make sense? So instead
Okay.
of you relying on someone else to send out the emails for you,
Uh,
right? We ain't
Okay.
gonna wait. Let me see if I can pull this up. I keep trying to.
Okay.
So let me show you. Watch
okay.
this. Maria, who's on the call, made this beautiful graph comparing
Maria.
us
Thank
to
you,
a
Maria.
traditional. Everything you see at SpeakerHub is designed by Maria and
Thank
Angel.
you.
They're our team that designs all of our graphs. If it was up to me, this would look like crayons, okay? they make it look
Gotta
real
have
good.
that woman's touch. There ain't nothing
That's
wrong
it.
with that.
Her and Angel are incredible. So here's the
Yay.
difference between us and everyone else. We use AI to match you with over 4 million gigs. That's what you saw us doing with the podcast, the associations, and everything. Do you remember that? Where we just opened it up and it already said, these are the ones you should go on. The regular Speakers Bureau, they're just limited to their personal contacts. It's hard to compete with us when you only got your personal relationships. We're commission free. You keep 100% of your payment. A traditional bureau takes 20 to 50% of your money. You get booked for $5,000, they keeping 2,500. Does that make sense?
I'm listening. This is new, so I'm learning. Yeah.
Yep, we work with all speakers, whether you're doing free gigs or paid gigs. They only want to work with high commission people, because if you're getting paid 20 grand per speech and they getting 30% of that, that's better than getting 30% of free. Make sense? What's 30% of free,
Yeah.
statistician? Free.
Right.
Nothing, right?
Huh.
We do pitch and interview coaching. That's what we're on here doing right now. We coach you through how to do this, and the software does it. You notice the software was giving you the stuff to say and how to
Yeah, I
work on
see
your
that
speech.
AI stuff. I'm
They
getting
don't do
there.
that. They're going to keep you in the dark because they don't want you to leave. When you work with us, you're talking directly to the organizers, directly to the podcasters. They're the middlemen. They're going to do the negotiation. You'll never meet the booking person because now they lose their advantage. Does this make sense?
Yeah, I'm tracking.
We got affordable fees. We are not expensive at all. They make you pay an upfront fee and they still gonna take half of your money for being an A director. And we're the only place that gives you conferences, associations, podcasts, and press. They just focus on conferences. Because you know what? When you get covered by Good Morning America, how much they gonna get paid? Nothing, because you ain't get paid. You go on a podcast, the podcast didn't pay you to show up. So how much they gonna make? Nothing. They ain't booking you over there. They get paid commission. You go do an association gig and get clients out of the audience, they don't get none of that money from the sales you made. So they don't want to book you for that. They only want to book people that are already famous. Is this making sense?
Totally tracking with you. 1,000%.
So we
Okay.
give you all of the same things that they do positively. We just have software that does it.
Okay.
It disappeared. It's in there somewhere. You saw it earlier.
And then you said that it was SpeakerHub was different prior. You just bought this less than a year ago.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
SpeakerHub before was just this profile. There was no AI. There was nothing. It was just, you just got a profile with a speaker one sheet, basically.
See? And people will come here and choose and select. Okay, I think I'm tracking.
Yeah. So we got 8,000 organizers, right? There's 8,000 organizers and agencies that are on here that are looking for speakers all the time.
Oh.
Right? You see that?
So hence, that's when you put my information in, that's all the different things that popped up. Is that right?
Yep, when we saw the different conferences. But we got 45,000
okay.
conferences that we put in here ourselves. But these are just event organizers. I mean, we got thousands of them. It'll keep loading. I think it's like 9,800 or
Okay.
something.
No, I
Right.
got you.
So we got
Okay.
all the organizers too.
Oh.
But the thing about it is that they got 64,000 speakers to choose from. Raise your hand. That's all we saying is sending the emails of you raising your hand saying, I'll do it.
That makes sense. Okay.
Do you see what I mean? So that's the old SpeakerHub where you had to wait. Wasn't a lot of proactivity. What we're doing now is saying, let's go get them. Right? So The Gap and the Gain. The Gap and the Gain. That was a good book I wanted to share with you because it's one that changed my life. I don't know if it came up. I think it's in my other window, but I'll bring it up here. Yeah, it's over here in the other window. But The Gap and the Gain is the book I want to share with you. And it's by a guy named Dan Sullivan. Right? And Dr. Benjamin Hardy. And here's a great example of it. The gap is where your goals are and where the distance between where you are today and your goals. It is where all of your stress and anxiety comes from if you just focus there, because you're focused on why you're not there yet and what you're missing. The gain is reflecting where you came from and where how far you've come from. Now, why is that so important? Because some people will look at me and say, Ron, yeah, you bought SpeakerHub, but you ain't Robert Smith. Cool. I don't know where Robert Smith came from, but I know where I came from. Right? As a kid from East St. Louis, I don't think I did that bad. I know. Let me show you something. I'm going to show you something wild. I ain't even never seen this.
I got you. I lived in Memphis, Tennessee before I moved here, so I'm tracking
Right.
with you.
My office for my insurance agency was right in front of that building. This
Yeah.
little small building is where I went to high school. Right? So when I think about where I came from to where I live now and the life I live now, I gotta be nothing but appreciative because I could be dead like a bunch of my friends. Right?
Growing up in the projects, I know.
Focus on my goals. I still got some
Yeah.
goals, but I go a little further and I look back. And I go a little further and I look back.
I got you.
That's what we're going to encourage you to do. We want to set some goals for you, but show you how far you've come as you start accomplishing them. Is that fair?
I thank you, and I thank everybody for just the camaraderie and the support and spending the time to really educate me a little bit better to understand what this is really about. So Ron, I thank you for your words of encouragement and speaking to me in the chat. I honor and thank you for that, love. This has been very helpful and insightful. It's making connections to things people have said to me. So it makes a lot of sense.
Cool.
Makes a lot of
Right.
sense.
You're welcome here any day. We're here at 12 noon and at 7 p.m. Eastern every single day, Monday through Friday, not on the weekends, but Monday through Friday, we do this twice a day. It's called Speaker Co-working. There's usually some people come in the daytime, some people come at night. Say, Ron was here both times today. Say, Ron was here the morning one with Leroy. No, Leroy was on a podcast this morning, but say, Ron was here this morning. She's here this evening. So people come to get their work done and to ask their questions and to get a pat on the back. So this is a lonely business, guys. You're doing this by yourself. Your family don't understand what you talk about, all of this stuff. They don't get you. And you got to be around some folks that look like you, act like you, and believe what you believe about this.
That's okay. They don't have to believe, but I'm doing it for the benefit of them. When I'm there, they'll understand.
Yeah, exactly. But we're gonna be there with you.
Okay.
All
No,
right,
this
so-
is good.
Any other questions? I'm gonna call it a day. I'm 37 minutes over in the overtime. I gotta go eat. My first meeting this morning was at 7 o'clock, and I've been sitting in this chair ever since. So, yeah, I gotta eat. I got 3 cups of coffee over here. It's
Oh,
wild.
no, that's not good. I honor and appreciate you, Ron, for your time and your words, and everybody present. I honor you for allowing to take up that time to explain.
Yeah, come on. You look, if you come back again, we ain't letting you out. All right?
See, there go that hostility again.
If
She
you come
in the
back
headlock.
again,
She
We
ain't going
got you.
nowhere.
We're gonna push you towards your mission. That is exactly what
love
we're gonna
it.
do. All right.
Awesome
Talk to you
sauce.
later, guys. Have a
Thanks,
good night.
everybody. Much
Bye-bye.
love.